This is a video on how to use latitude and longitude in web ticket entry. So in this video, we're going to use a latitude and longitude point that's at an actual address. Also on our website, we have an example of how to use a latitude and longitude point that falls in an open area where you would use an intersection as a starting point. But in this video, we're going to just be at the address of 101 East 14th Avenue, which is in Denver County, the city and county of Denver. And so for our mapping, we would just come down and select the Find Street button. And so here the map does find the parcel for the address. And so I'm going to just map out the area with a polygon after we've entered the latitude and longitude point, and also after we've looked at the locate description. So I'm just going to, in order to enter the latitude and longitude point, we would just go back up, and so it would be entered in this More Map Lookups area. So to open that area up, we just left click on the plus button, and then down below here we've got latitude and longitude. And so if you know the latitude and longitude point of your dig area, you could enter that yourself. But if you enter it yourself, it has to be entered in the decimal degree format as shown in the examples here to the right. But if you're out in the field on a mobile device such as a smartphone or iPad or whatever type of device that you have, you could just select this Get GPS button, and then it would bring you to that lat long point of wherever you're standing. So to demonstrate that, I'm just going to enter the lat long examples here. Okay, so if you enter the latitude and longitude yourself, you would just come down and select the Go to Lat Long button. And then that lat long point is indicated by a red dot on the map. And so you can see that that lat long point does fall within the boundaries of the parcel of the property itself. And so for a locate description, well, your locate description does you do have to use what I call a physical locate description. So you couldn't just say locate a 10-foot radius of lat long point and then enter the lat long point in the description. You couldn't just use that as your description. Your locate description would have to be something like what's shown here in the example down below. So we've got locate an approximate 10-foot radius of pre-marked white flag on east side of lot. And so that white flag would be placed at the lat long point. So latitude and longitude is a tool to verify that you're in the right area or to get you to the right area. So again, this is an example of what the locate description would need to look like. And then we've got access open. And then if you would want the locators to see the latitude and longitude coordinates of where your lat long point is at, you would also have to enter that with the locate description. That information isn't transmitted to them, even though it goes into the map and brings up that area on the map. It's not transmitted to the locator, so you would have to enter that yourself in order for them to see the lat long point. Okay, so now to map out the area, we would just select the SEG button. So that places a 250-foot buffer around the entire property. So whenever you're processing a locate at an address, a full 250-foot radius of the entire property, at least a full 250 of the entire property would need to be covered. And so when the map does find the parcel for you, then just selecting SIG gives you that full 250 of the entire property. But then what's also required, that needs to be a full 250 of the entire property regardless of the locate description. So even though we're just doing a little 10-foot radius of the pre-marked flag on the east side of the lot, we still have to cover the entire property with the polygon. That's the procedure that we have to follow. And then also what's required on all tickets at addresses is a full 250-foot buffer of the street in front of the address and also any other adjacent streets to the address. So in this example, this address has 3 other adjacent streets to it, as well as the street in front. And so a full 250 of all 4 streets would be required, full 250 of the center line of all 4 streets. And so to cover that, we would just come down and select the line button, left click on line. And so I'm just going to take the cursor up here and I'm just going to start up here in the upper left hand corner. And so to get a full 250 of Lincoln Street to the west, I'm just going to the opposite side of the street and we just draw along the opposite side of the street along Lincoln. Then we come down to the south and I'm just going to draw along the opposite side of the street of East 14th Avenue. And then along the opposite side of the street of Grant Street to the east, and then East Colfax Avenue to the north. And we go to the start point and left click. And so that extends the polygon out to also get a full 250-foot buffer of all the adjacent streets to the address.